Well, hey, everybody, this is Don from the Vlog of Many Things. Welcome to the show tonight. With me is Mr. Steven.
Yep, it's Stephen Lake.
Okay, you got to speak, Steve. And
What? I
down
actually have
below,
to?
yep,
Um,
and Eric Tenkar down below. And with us
I
tonight is, I'm going to butcher the last name, Roger Rebisz.
Rebisz. Yeah, Rebisz.
Oh, gosh, almost by
Close,
one
yeah.
syllable. Oh, God,
You're,
almost
you're good.
got it.
You're good.
All right, Roger is with Central New York Con, correct?
Yeah, CNY RPG Con,
Yep,
Central New York RPG
yep.
Con. Yeah, it hasn't
And
found an alias yet, I guess, really.
we'll get an alias going by the end of tonight. We got lots of people. Currently, we have 38 people watching us live, and that is pretty good for coming off right off the bat. Terry R, Thyatis, David, gentlemen, how y'all doing tonight? We're going to basically be talking with Roger here. This is his first gaming convention, and like WizardCon, Roger is as insane as I am, and decided to wake up one morning and go, "Hey, I'm going to go shoot myself in the foot by doing a convention."
Yeah.
Pretty accurate, yeah.
Yes, that's perfect.
That's right. That says Roger's going to give us the biz. That's right. So we're going to talk about starting your own game convention. Roger, we're going to talk about your game convention. Let you plug it. We want to know all about it, all the gush on it. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of it. And as with the vlog of many things, the chat is going to kind of steer us and let us go and kind of show us where we need to go with this. So
There's pros.
there's pros.
There's pros. All right.
There are. So okay, so Roger, give you the floor for a moment. I thought I heard the video thing.
you
go-
did,
here
you
we
did. I
go.
was. I want to be able to chat. I realized.
I gotta,
Oh wow! For me to be able to chat, I got to have a second.
Guess who's late again?
If you look outside, it's like
Oh, okay, we'll just let him be for now.
Here we go.
My wife is in chat. Says hello, Roger, Steve, Eric. I spy my husband. Yes, she does. Tom just joined before she said that, so everybody's happy. Roger, I guess I'm going to give you kind of the floor for a moment. Tell us about CNY RPG Con. What is it exactly, and where is it at, and when is it?
Okay, so yeah, Central New York RPG Con. It's something that I started, like you said, this is a first year that we're doing it. Basically, I got tired of going out of state and having to travel to go to different conventions and stuff. I still plan on doing that. But I kept thinking to myself, hey, why don't we have anything up here? So I decided, let's start something. I'm into mostly like old school RPGs and whatnot. And so that's kind of the theme I'm going with. And
You're pushing.
yeah,
Your convention is actually pushing old school RPG con. I mean, you're
yeah,
focusing on that.
I'm definitely focusing on that, and that's been a big thing for me since for a long time now. And it's not just like the Wizards thing or whatever, but D&D just from when I was younger to now, it just seems like it's gotten more and more expensive to play, or people think that it's more expensive to play, and so I've always been one to just say, you know what, like use pennies and a couple sets of dice and just do stuff. You don't need to spend $1 million on minis and books and all these like rules and things. So yeah, and that's just kind of the way I've been. But yeah, so this convention is going to be June 14th, 15th this year, and it's a Saturday, Sunday. Decided to go with that, and it's right outside of Utica, New York. That's where I was born and raised. It's at a hotel in New Hartford, right on Burstone Road. Yeah, that's about it. We got a handful of guests, four special guests so far lined up. One of you may know is Eric Tenkar. Have you heard of him?
Oh God, you got that guy coming?
I did. We've got
Lock up the silverware.
Greg Gillespie, Brian Shutter, and Joseph Block so far.
Oh, Greyhawk Grognard's coming.
So,
That's always Greg Gillespie.
Yep.
You got some really solid hard hitters coming to your convention right off the bat.
Nice. Yeah, I think so.
Good. So Gotta ask you. I think I know the answer to this. What's your favorite edition of D&D?
Oh boy. Well, man, I really
Back me. Back me.
no. So yeah, I know you would think so because of the shirt, but I'm it, but that was the artist's creative liberty, and the art turned out so well, I didn't want to tell him otherwise. I'm actually a Moldvay basic guy.
Okay, rub it in
I
down below.
I was on vacation when I was little, and well, younger, I guess not so little, but and when I was 11, and I found the Moldvay box set at the basic
Mhm.
set at a garage sale, and I fell in love with the Earl Otis art, and I've
No,
just
was that your introduction to D&D?
yeah, that was
Oh,
it.
isn't that classic
That
though,
was
guys?
that was it.
You're at a garage sale. You never played
Well-
D&D before. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
bam! You run across it. And you start playing it. It's like a first hit of heroin.
Yeah. Yeah, and I got the box set somewhere. Oh, that's wrong hand. Somewhere over right there, I think, is the.
Now, is that your
box
original
set
one?
there. No, it's not. Unfortunately, the box of mine got flattened, and I've only got, I think, the D20 and the D12 left from it.
Nice.
So I had to buy
Baby blue.
an. Yes, they're baby blue. Yep.
That was the same thing with mine. My first set of dice were all baby blue. And
Mhm.
gentlemen of the esteemed panel here, I
Mhm.
have heard though that actually is an outlier. That wasn't the original dice like multicolored, but all mine in my original box set
Yes.
were all baby blue.
Now the original's been a soap dice,
Yeah.
as they call them, affectionately.
But see, that's a funny thing because in my original set, which I got in '77 for Christmas
Mhm.
box set, they were blue, all of them.
Mine
Yeah.
was red.
Yeah,
A swirl, a little bit of a swirl, white into the red. But
yeah,
they were red.
I brought that up before, and people like no, because they were supposed to have like a yellow one, a blue one, like they were supposed to be multicolor. You didn't get an actual box set. I'm like, 1977, man, when my mom got it for Christmas for me.
And so the original basic box sets, as I believe it goes, it is, and I'll be corrected. I'm sure if I'm wrong. What I consider to be the soap dice were the first print run. Then they ran out of dice, and they included chits. And then when they got dice again, it was those blue or red, depending on what it was. I didn't have any of that because when I came in, my mother started me with AD&D and a very nice set of. Back then, it was a $12 dice set. God bless her for paying that much money, but
What?
yeah, I still have it somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dice eventually resembled marbles. My D20 was like a marble because all the edges chipped off, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
they just.
That was my Gamma World dice. My Gamma World dice were those soap dice.
Yeah, my first dice, I still have my original D20, and it literally looks like a round ball. It's just been so worn down and just horrible. But
Yeah, I have none of my original stuff because I had it in a trunk in a basement at a friend's house, and it flooded.
yeah, Edward Kopp says my blue box had multicolored dice, and that was 1979. Yeah, everybody says multicolored. Mine were. Now, granted, I'll say one thing: it is possible in the thing of time, because I also had the Beck Me Red box and all that. That it's possible that the dice have. My wife is getting my cat, by the way. He is having an aneurysm fit in here for some reason. But it's possible that I might have got dice mixed up into my mind. I'm thinking it was baby blue. Maybe it was the original multicolored dice, but hard telling.
No, because mine was baby blue.
Okay,
Mine was
good.
a
I'm
full
not
set
going
of baby
insane or suffering
from the
from
Moldvay
Alzheimer's.
Basic, yeah.
Good.
The
Thompson.
box behind me came with a set, and I don't. It's got it with the crayon, and I think it's a solid color. I think they're yellow.
Gotcha. David Thompson said game science dice and 80 still had sharp edges. Yeah, some of those older dice, man, you could really hurt somebody.
Yeah. But no, you had to make this dramatic. Like, I don't feel like coming in. I was like,
Hey,
So All right. So, okay, sorry, we're getting distracted because we got some sound interference happening in Ether. We're getting it fixed right now. But, Roger, just kind of a dumb question for you.
Oh boy.
All right. You mentioned you're wanting the convention to have kind of an old school feel to it.
Yeah.
Are you going to allow people who want to play 5e
Oh,
or
absolutely.
something? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would like to see people try different things. Like I would hate to see like the 5e crowd come in and just play 5e with their home group at a table. I mean, but I mean, yeah, I'm not planning on
A
excluding anybody,
suggestion,
for
and I
that.
don't know how everybody else feels about this, but this is what we're going to do at our table. Is we're noticing that now that we're starting to get D&D signups, we're starting to get more people, but they're 5e.
Mhm.
And I know that like people like Eric will probably, if he's going to run D&D, will probably run older versions. And I know people like Chris Clark and such are going to be running older like such. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a table set up where we're kind of going to have almost like, and it's really a bad word to use in this case. I call it almost like a gaming thirst trap, where we're going to try to get people to say, hey, looking for players, we're playing some old school D&D here. Would you like to learn how to play a D&D or BECME or Basic or Moldov, whatever? But we're also going to be doing that for kids. We're going to have a
Mhm.
kids corner where we're going to have basic D&D set up for them.
Sure.
So that maybe be an idea, is maybe kind of, if you start getting a lot of 5e signups, kind of try to push people to play some of the older stuff too.
I'll have to go through the events. I don't recall seeing any 5e games yet on the event list. So
Well, yeah,
Well,
because you're also pushing old school. Eric, sorry.
yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say like North Texas just has a hard rule now that they stop at D&D 2014, right? We don't call it 5e anymore, right? You got to say the year. No D&D 2024, none of the latest rule set.
Really?
Yep, they will not
That's
allow it to be
interesting.
played at the con.
Dumb question, Eric. And I
Yeah.
and this is kind of a learning curve for me and Roger because we're both our first conventions.
Right.
So how is Bad Mike going to handle it? Like if someone shows up and they're like, "Hey, I brought my 5e stuff. I want a game." You know what I mean? I'm just going to be told SOL.
That's you're not going to be able to pre-register a D&D
5e game.
2024 game.
Wow.
So if somebody wants to come and
Interesting.
they want to play 2024, first off, good luck finding a table of players to play it.
Yeah.
But you'll also have to be able to get a pickup table, to handle it. But he's not allowing anybody to register and say, "Hey, I got a game of D&D 2024." No, they're allowing 5e and even allowing 5e from 2014. As he said, is pushing the envelope.
Yeah, St. Cuthbert says what might be cool is besides the table number on a stick is to have a signage like BECME 5e, etc. Actually, with WizardCon, St. Cuthbert, and you're going to be there. We're doing that. We're having these large table things, and I kind of got the idea to add that from TotalCon, and I'm going to have the table number, but also the game that's currently going and what they're looking for. So
That's interesting. I may have to steal that idea.
yeah. And
Yeah.
that's another thing, Mr. Gunn. How you doing, my friend? When I went to TotalCon, I got so many flippin' ideas by just going to a different convention. It just blew my mind about how to treat special guests, how to treat normal guests, how to do the registration more quicker and easier. Me and Eric stood in line for an hour for it, but the flea market.
Oh, that was good.
Oh, that was really good. I got the old tabletop Luftwaffe game complete,
Mhm.
$10.
Nice.
They were selling Dragon magazines, almost mint condition, $2 and $3 each. It was like, holy crap! Hold me back, Eric.
Yeah, no,
You got Midnight on Dagger Alley complete with the vision glass, everything. What, $40?
$40.
Yeah.
I'll have to next time I see Merle. I have to have him sign it.
Yeah. Well, Merle's going to be at WizardCon. So, and by the way, Roger, after this show, I'll send you a list of special guests that I have found that have been super easy to deal with and very, very into smaller conventions. So,
Cool.
I'm kind of bringing into that. Ask you a question. How
Sure.
did you, let's face it, we're all gamers. We look at people like Merle Rasmussen. I mean, they're celebrities to us. And reaching out to these people, for me at least, was a little bit intimidating. I mean, I
Sure.
kind of had my proverbial celeb cherry busted because of Tim Kask, dealing with Tim and everything.
Mhm.
So I was kind of a little bit more. But how did you approach reaching out to people and going, how would you like to come to this brand new convention that nobody knows about?
Well, I just kind of stumbled on it really. Like it was just kind of happened. It just kind of worked out. I, was thinking for a while about running a convention. I mean, this isn't like the first time, it's been swirling around in my head for a couple of years now. And so, you go to conventions, you meet people, you talk to people and whatnot. And when I was at Page 1, that's where I met Greg Gillespie. And
Awesome guy,
so,
by the way.
yeah, no, he's a just wonderful guy to talk to. He's about, I think, like 6'14" tall. He's got at least a foot over me. It's just he's a really tall guy.
Yeah, Greg is
But,
about 6'2", 3".
Yeah.
He's our age, but he's in great shape.
He is in awesome shape.
I'll say
Absolutely.
that.
So he doesn't
and-
walk with a limp and groan when he stands up like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pure keto, by the way.
I met him there and got my Barrow Maze signed, and I had backed the Dragon Slayer RPG, and so he had like one of the test prints with him there, and so I got to flip through it, and we just started talking and everything else, and he's in Canada, just over the border from New York. And so I mentioned to him and said, hey, listen, I'm thinking about doing an old school convention, in about a year and a half, sometime in the summer. And he was like, yeah, let me know. That's like 2.5, 3 hour trip. He's like, I'll hop in the car and drive down. It'd be great. So, so as soon as I mentioned it to him, he was like, yeah, absolutely.
See, that's just, to me, that just is indicative of what a lot of these people are. They're gamers like us, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Gunn says the guy probably has all of his hair too. The lucky SOB. I get it, man. I get it. Okay.
And Brian Shutter, he was working a Goodman Games booth for a while, and he's got his own Neon Lords game, and he's actually about an hour north of me, is where he lives, and so he's like super into it, and so he said he'd come down, and everybody's been great.
Well, that's the whole thing. I'm looking at my website right now, and I just think of all these people, and I'm looking with your site, your tabletop events cross-linked to it, and I'm like, 2 different conventions, brand new, and people are so willing to be so gracious and come to them.
Sure.
I mean, that's humbling,
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to downgrade you. I'll talk on my consideration. Who the hell am I? I'm convention A. Nobody knows who the hell I am as far as convention wise goes. And there's people that have serious gaming cred. I mean, like Greg Gillespie. I mean, Greg Gillespie is a name. I mean, he's somebody, and just to have that to me is humbling.
Yeah. No, and I feel even like lower than you. I mean, you've got, a successful, YouTube channel, and, an already established like RPG business and, things like that. So I'm the nobody here,
Well, I'll tell you what, I will take a hats off to you. You have done outstanding with your marketing, because your convention is all over my feed every time I go into Facebook. And you do not have a website, correct?
So I bought the domains, but they just they point to the tabletop page.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'll make an offer right here in front of everybody real quick. I'll just say it like this. I'll make you a real simple website for free if you want to take me up on my offer. Just for free to help you out.
Yeah, sure.
We'll do a simple website. I can crank you out an HTML-based website fairly quickly. And if you want, that's my offer to you. I'll help you out. One convention organizer to another. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
It was just easy to have it point,
Yeah.
tabletop events it may not be the perfect site to deal with, but it's there and has everything you need.
Yeah. Edward Kopp says, for WizardCon in April, did you get an email from the con with the background to the setting?
He's talking about those Y-hander games.
Tom, I can't even hear you. You're like really, really, your sound's way, way off.
Can you hear me now?
Barely.
I don't know. I'm connected to the Blue Yeti.
You are very, very muted. In answer to your question, Edward, if you're talking about did I get help on the back end of tabletop events, Steve from TotalCon actually took me and my wife up to the TotalCon suite and sat us down with tabletop events and showed us what we're doing wrong. So yeah, so we're set up there. The badges are going out for special guests this week, and we got a lot of the other issues fixed. Let's see here. Mr. Gunn says, Roger, what other cons are you hosting? Or what con are you hosting? Mr. Gunn's here a little bit late.
Yeah, so this is the Central New York role-playing game convention. Here's a flyer there. I don't know if that's readable on the screen for you.
No, you're fine.
But that's
marketing's brilliant, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I had an artist. I had a friend of a friend that did the art and just did an absolutely amazing job with the art, and I couldn't be happier with it.
Now, David Floor says, I can host if need be. Just to let you know, David Floor is a computer programmer, and he is trustworthy 100%. And that's another thing I found in this community is if you have a question about somebody, you can always like message somebody because everybody knows everybody in this community. Tom, how's your sound doing?
Can you hear me now?
Barely. It literally sounds like you are just like standing 10 feet from your mic.
I've moved the microphone even closer.
Yeah. So, well, Roger, let me ask you another couple of questions. I mean, so old school, what kind of things you got going at the convention? Are you going to have like a raffle? Are you going to have an auction? I mean, what are the secondary events at your convention?
So Ron from Page graciously volunteered to run an auction. So he's going to be doing that, and we're going to do a basket raffle. I'm trying to talk to some local businesses and stuff to see what they want to donate. And I have some things that are getting donated, and I've had some friends, that have brought some stuff in. So, but yeah, so that'll be interesting. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, basket raffle and an auction, and gaming and vendors. I mean, that's really all we have set up.
And Edward Kopp, he came late to the video. He's asking where in Central New York you're going to be at.
So Ed, I know that you're in Brooklyn, so from down there, I know everything off of Long Island is considered upstate to you guys, and maybe we got to do a little geography lesson. I don't know, but no, it's right in Utica, about dead center of New York. Yeah, just outside Utica. It's about halfway between Albany and Syracuse.
Okay. I have a question for you that's a little off of what you were working on that I was curious about.
Boy.
Oh, nothing bad. What do you have for signage for the convention? Because every convention I've been to, I've had them where some of them, they have really great signage, so you know where certain things are. It points you over here, or this is this booth and stuff. And there's other ones, it's like a little, piece of paper taped to the wall. So,
we're still working on that. we got 4 months left. I'm working on table signage. Now I'm trying to design something that, I want something where you can see the table numbers from, across the room instead of having to walk up to every single table and figure out what number it is. Definitely something tall. And we've really only got like 3 rooms that we're working with. So, it should be fairly easy. to figure it out, but hopefully we're going to have some signs pointing people in the right direction. I haven't worked on that yet.
Important thing here, Bad Mike. Do you know who Bad Mike is, Roger?
Yeah.
Okay, he's basically saying after the video, give him your contact info. He can donate some stuff for your auction. Again,
Yeah,
here we
fantastic. I
go.
appreciate that.
Yeah, another convention stepping up to help out a small convention. Bad Mike, thank you very much, by the way, for that offer. Let's see here. St. Cuthbert says, if you're asking me, I did receive an email from the GM. Okay, maybe if that's what he was mentioning. Yeah, basically what is going on real quick is with the WizardCon thing is we had some issues at the back end. And it turns out we were told by Steve something that I guess about a week ago, Tabletop Events, and you might want to check this, Roger. Tabletop Events did a update to the website. What they didn't tell people is they turned everybody's ability for existing ticket holders to create a new game. So if you're a ticket holder and you're trying to create a game, no one was able to create a game on our Tabletop Events page. Steve at TotalCon, who is the head guy who runs it, said we just happened to cross it because people were like, why can't I sign up for a game? So there was a setting we had to go from like 0 to 1 to turn it back on. So yeah, that's fixed now. Oops. And then, yeah. So other than that, so you've got, so you're going to have an auction.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else? Is there going to be food at the auction? Is there going to be a food truck? Anything going on like that?
No.
Or?
So the hotel has a restaurant on site. And so they are, they're not okay with any kind of food unless it's something, like they're okay with like cupcakes and cookies and like things like that. But I can't bring in, any kind of like outside food to sell or anything like that.
Sucks about that because our convention space is the Sheraton, the Four Points. They have a restaurant that'll be open, but they were totally in line going, if you want to get Uber and DoorDash and people call in and go to get pizza brought in, we don't care. Have them, bring stuff in. I was like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mentioned, doing that if they'd be okay with like Uber or anything like that. And as soon as I mentioned that, they said that they would make sure that they sent someone in and around from the hotel restaurant to take orders, to bring stuff to the table. So they're kind of against, the outside, food thing. So,
well, and some of that, just because I also have a culinary background, some of that is because of the local sanitation laws there, because there are areas and jurisdictions I've run into where, bring in your Uber, bring in your DoorDash and all that stuff, go for it. And other ones are like, man, if you don't have this license and you don't have this registration, you don't have this other thing, you are not having food on this property. So you're probably running into that. So, because I know I've seen both situations. In the second one where they're just like, Hitler and Nazi Germany and all that stuff. Yeah, that's more the fault of the sanitation department than it is the hotel. And that's just because the hotel is just trying to protect themselves and try not to get shut down by the health department.
Well, the other problem you run into is like, and this is the big thing that I had a problem with. Like the only downside to TotalCon was the food, because like they had this outside of the restaurant area, they had like this walk up area you get hot dogs. I am not joking. 2 hot dogs are $9, or macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese was $14.
Wow.
I shit you not.
Wow.
However, I will say one thing: the flippin' fish and chips, mind-blowingly good.
Really?
Not what you'd expect it from hotel food. That is sure.
First night, Eric is like, "Oh, I got the fish and chips last year. It was really good. You should get them." I'm like, "Man, this guy must not have had good fish and chips." Sorry, Eric. I was thinking that.
No, it's okay.
This is a hotel. I just went off the tail end of their macaroni and cheese with pulled pork on top. Oh God, worst thing I ever had. I had it when me, Tom, and the women all sat down with Eric and our wives, we all sat down, had dinner together, and I finally had the fish and chips. What was I missing all my life at Total Time? So, an idea, Roger, is maybe get with the hotel also and say, would you be willing to work with me on a menu where we take your standard food items on your menu and rename them something fun and themed?
Yeah, I started to consider that. I haven't talked to them yet about that. But that came up. That came up somewhere because there was some other place where I saw that was that had done that.
Mhm.
But
Oh,
yeah,
Gary Con does it.
it's on my list. Maybe it was Gary Con.
Gary Con, North Texas, Total Con does it. There was a special menu, like the two special drinks that were game related, and there was a snack, a bar menu, a snack menu at the bar that had a special list. But I know North Texas does that, and they take $1 or $2 off what the regular menu price is to get the gaming people to eat at the hotel restaurant. But North Texas does get food trucks in. They do get that deal. But North Texas does the hotel is solid. North Texas, they call them the wenches. They don't. They've been called wenches now for 14 years, Mike, or something like that. But the con supplies the servers that will go to each gaming table, orders, go to the hotel restaurant, bring the food back and forth. So they've been doing that since I've been going in 2014.
Do they offer like orc ale while you're there?
No, the hotel. I know Gary Con likes to get these really weird names for their dishes. They go like Beholder Burger. They don't quite go that far, but
Yeah. I had one of those. I had a Beholder Burger or whatever it was last time I was there.
And it's
so Roger, what else about your convention can you tell the people that are watching right now? We got 78 people right now watching.
Oh boy.
What can you tell us about your convention? Just let me ask you this. All these people looking at this probably have been to a game convention or two. Why should they come to your game convention?
Oh boy. So you're gonna put me on the spot now.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Well, I mean, hopefully because it's close. I mean, that was like the reason why I, wanted to kind of start it. I wanted something that was nearby, so I'm hoping to get everybody that's close. I mean, even if they're not, I mean, I'd love to have everybody come and, a lot of the cons I go to, like I said, they have a lot of, 5e games or more modern, gaming and stuff in there. And I definitely want people to try and, play some of the older stuff and see that it's, it's still out there. It's still viable. There's nothing wrong with it. That there's no need to keep buying new editions, I guess, and that's my thing,
Well, I think, go ahead.
No, I think Bad Mike about the hotels. He goes, don't take their word for it. He goes, I'll tell you more about this later. When you talk, Roger, when you talk to Ben Mike, he'll give you the download. Yeah. But don't just anything a hotel says about being able to cover all your food needs. Unless they hire more people for that particular weekend, they cannot take care of your orders. We saw that down at the hotel. That one night, what was it, Friday night? Friday night, it went to shit because they had like 2 servers for a restaurant that had a line of people waiting to eat. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Well, Saturday night we were there. Remember, we're in there Saturday night, and how long?
It was better though than Friday. They Saturday was better than Friday was. Friday was ridiculous. Crazy. But it's just now, Roger, I'm going to say something that I really like about Central New York Con. It's a 2-day con. It's on Saturday, Sunday. Now I'm retired.
Yeah.
It doesn't really affect me, but a lot of cons that are 2-day cons do Friday, Saturday.
Right.
I was working Saturday, Sunday is those ideal numbers. You get off work, you get to the con Friday night, and then you run it as late as
Yep.
you can on Sunday before you leave. You're not taking any time off from work.
Yeah.
That is ideal. Other 2-day cons, Shire Con, which started as a Saturday con, is now almost 2 full days. They added on up front Friday. Again, I'm retired, but if I was working, I would want to see that to be Saturday, Sunday, because it just means you don't have to take
Sure.
time off from work. So
Yeah.
I two
Yeah.
thumbs up. That was
Thank
thinking
you.
outside of the regular con scheduling on that one.
Well, like you said, like I mean, I'm still working. I still got 21 years left before I can retire. So, but I end up going to these conventions, and I end up going, on Thursday night. I get out Thursday, and I got to take Friday off. So it costs me, a day's labor or whatever to go out to these conventions. Some of them even Wednesday, on some of the 4-day cons. But that was something, that I wanted to start with a 2-day convention, and we kind of decided early on, like let's do Saturday, Sunday, just to make sure that people can show up, because Friday people wouldn't show up until Friday night or whatever,
Right.
So
yeah.
Well, it's tough
but
for people to
definitely.
go during, to go there on a Friday if you're going to do a Friday Saturday convention. It's a tough
Sure.
thing. Just
Sure.
real quick, Scott Mulder, we're north. We just hit 400, so doing well so far.
Nice.
But let's see here. Let's get caught up a little bit. We are. Mr. Gunn says, speaking of cons, Michigan was a land of cons in the day. There was one in Battle Creek, Michigan, WinterCon. What happened to all those cons? They're, as far as those conventions, they're gone. We had in Michigan and Kalamazoo, we had Marmalade Dog, which was kind of like a gaming. It was a true gaming convention that went away for several years. They're coming back in 2025. So they're back now. You've got UConn, of course, a couple other ones, but WinterCon is gone. Michigan's gone. Who knows? Who knows the issues with it? Let's see here. Bad Mike says, I'll tell you anything to placate you, but in practice, there's a 95% chance they won't hire anyone else, and your orders will be
So
non-existent.
I'll contact you later, Mike. I appreciate it. They I'm not saying you're wrong. The hotel has told me that they will have their chef or whatever on staff, and he will stay as late as he needs to until orders stop coming in, and that they will have extra staff available. Now, I don't know, maybe like you said, they're just selling me, a line, but
Well, it is Saturday,
but that's
Sunday. Usually hotels are staffed better on the weekend, so that might be the help right there. Again, we saw at TotalCon, service was better Saturday night than it was on Friday night. Thursday night wasn't a big deal because it's the first day of the con. Everybody's still making their way in. The restaurant wasn't insane, but by Friday night it was out of control. So, all right, good.
Now, is the hotel offering any special room rates or anything for convention goers for you?
Yeah. So the normal room rate, I think, is $149 a night or something like that, and and we've got a block that's $119, I believe.
Nice.
Yep. Fugly says our conventions always had con suite with food and munchies. A dedicated team brought a lot of quick munchies and table runners to bring it to the floor. The restaurant is literally right next to the convention gaming room. The free breakfast brunch area is right off the gaming room. We are going to have kind of like a little food thing, but it's going to be for the special guests, just because, with the free breakfast for anybody who's attending, that's a bonus right there by the hotel, which is really good with the hotel and such. So we're trying to keep it, fairly organized, if you will. Again, first year, so I know there's going to be hiccups, but we're hoping to have as few hiccups as possible. So, first convention, like we were talking about, what are some of the pros and cons have you found out so far? Some of the learning curves you had there that you've ran into about unexpected things, maybe, or things you knew about, just about starting a new convention.
The thing that's been kind of nerve wracking for me is figuring out the finances and everything, and making sure that you're, I mean, I'm not looking to make money. I don't expect to do that at all. I just want to, you know, lose as least amount as possible, I guess, um, but trying to like plan all that out, that seems to be, there's a lot of upfront costs and whatnot with the advertising and
Yeah,
stuff.
there
And,
is.
hopefully after, a couple of years, things will, start to roll over or whatever. And we can make that, work out a little bit better. Um, but yeah, just, I don't know, just planning everything has just been, as far as that goes, trying to make, like, I had a ton of issues trying to get t-shirts made. I was trying to get, and I still haven't listed them on the site yet. I've gotten t-shirts made from like a few different vendors, just, and then you got to wait for shipping and wait for them to make the thing and send it to you. And it's just like, it just takes time,
Hmm.
and because I don't want to order t-shirts from an unknown.
Right.
I definitely, if I'm going to sell them and pre-sell them, like, I want to make sure that it's something that I want to wear every day, and nothing that's got like that, like a thick piece of plastic that's just kind of stuck on the
Yeah.
front of the shirt,
Well, and get your stuff as early
So,
as possible because
yeah.
this was actually echoed to me by I was part of a panel on Saturday morning. Eric went to it, I think, where
Yep.
people were talking about, there was convention guys there, and one of the comments that were made by the seasoned veterans there were, when it comes to things, get it early as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because if it's going to run late, it's going to run late on something that's going to be vital. It's always vital, and it's going to be last minute. So that's with us. We can
Sure.
make a lot of our own stuff, so we're making it and getting it stocked up and ready to go, boxed up and all that. But now, quick question for you: are you offering people to be able to sponsor the convention?
Yeah. So, yeah, we've got, I've talked to a handful of people, and if people want to donate stuff for the auction, or if they want to donate things for the basket raffle, we'll trade, like, advertising and
Mhm.
whatnot. Or if someone wants to make a basket, they can put, whatever they want in it as far as advertising and stuff, and they'll get advertised on the website,
Mhm.
and things like that. I know that most conventions that I've seen have things set up where, they have, like, the lanyard sponsor, and that costs
Yeah,
so much, and like things like that. And I just haven't gone through all of that stuff, and I'm still
I would
trying to figure
suggest
that
do
stuff
it
out. So,
because little things like that are the costs that sneak up on you, like a
mhm,
lanyard sponsor. Um, I know that, as an example, Paige
mhm,
had Ed Lazor from RPG Marketplace. He sponsored all the bags.
mhm,
So all of the gift bags and all the special bags that people got when they showed up to get their badge had RPG Marketplace's logo swab on them, and that probably saved TotalCon probably 300-400 bucks for bags alone, if not more. So um,
yeah.
yeah, I just think that that's a great idea. St. Cuthbert has a question. He says, "Are you doing everything yourself, or do you have a small team helping?" TTE has a volunteer sign up. I suggest using it.
Yeah, so for this year, I'm not doing everything 100% by myself. I do have issues letting go of of things, and letting
Stop,
go of control.
learn. Same way, learn.
Yeah. No, and I do have a handful of people that have helped me out with, posting stuff to Facebook and sharing things around, and
Hmm.
going around and talking to people, and
Yeah.
even just sitting down to be able to talk and discuss ideas and things like that. And so I've probably got about a dozen people total that have kind of,
Hmm.
volunteered, that are kind of helping out and whatnot. And I think that's okay with, the numbers. I mean, I'm looking at, for first year, I'm looking at getting around 200 or so people. I
Hmm.
mean, if we get 300, that'd be great. But
Yeah.
So I think around a dozen volunteers at this point is probably a safe bet.
Mm-hmm. Fugly says, does the lanyard sponsor get their website on the lanyard? That's pretty much depends on the convention. I mean, would a lanyard sponsor get their website on your lanyard? Roger?
I don't know. I'd have to see how much it would cost to get, lettering or a logo on a
Mhm.
lanyard. I mean, I had just planned on, for this year, just getting just plain, solid color
Mhm.
lanyards. But yeah, it's something I guess to look into, and then maybe get
Yeah.
if somebody wanted to do that.
I
Well,
have
if
a, I have a,
someone's in here, go ahead, Steve.
yeah, I have a suggestion actually for that, which is something that I came up for some of my own projects. If it costs too much to get those lanyards custom printed, you can get stickers printed like on the cheap comparatively in most cases, or in some cases you can have just like a little like 3x5 or 4x6 card that you could probably print that out really cheap, and then just stick them into the back of the lanyard. So when they flip it over, there's the advertisement,
Sure.
and it's super cheap for you.
Yeah. Yeah, or like business cards. I think you can get print really cheap. Yeah, with somebody's logo and put that on there. Yeah,
That might
I
be
was thinking of the putting lettering on the actual, on the actual lanyard, on the actual
Yeah.
shoelace or whatever you want to call it there that goes around
Yeah,
your
Yeah,
neck.
some
But
people
yeah,
use lanyards. Some people actually use it like Totocon was just a black shoelace material type cord, like a paracord. So
yeah.
Yeah, and the business card idea though on the lanyard backing would be good because instead of having to deal with the lanyard and all this, that when they're all done with the convention, pull the lanyard apart. There's the business card, put it in their file, off they go. So that
Sure.
might be the better way to go. And
Yeah.
you could also then have the other guy, not just pay for that space, but also give you all the business cards, and then you don't have to have any expenses, and you actually kind of come out ahead.
Yeah.
David
That's
Floor
actually
just
pretty
said to you, he said, I did a website app for what's called, what used to be called Gen Cant, sorry, that would create badges with names and barcode. If you need any software support for that, let me know. So,
Yeah, I think right now tabletop events has been the like they handle all of that stuff as far as the printing the badges and with the barcodes and everything on them. So
yeah. And Tina says the sponsor could be on the name tag for the lanyard. Yes.
yeah,
So, it's all just any way that you can save money, and because it's goodwill also. A company likes to see their name on stuff because I'm not worried that if somebody else gets business off of my convention, that's what I want. I mean, that's what a
Sure.
sponsor does. So now, how much is it to get into your convention for a 1 day or a weekend pass?
$25 for the weekend.
Okay.
We elected to go with just one badge instead of split it, and go with something a little bit cheaper because it was our first year. So
Gotcha.
so we didn't want to do like a 15 and 10 or anything like that, because we figured 25 was good enough, or even if someone was going to show up for 1 day, that it would work
Gotcha.
out.
Mr. Gunn says, "Where's Tom?" Like Eric just said, he's having some technical issues with his sound, so he kind of backed out. But yeah, there's a million different ways that you can get kind of like extra help and stuff with the convention and such. So now we know it's old school. Got a few guests happening. You got an auction going to happen. Besides the auction, do you have anything else kind of ancillary tied to it? You're going to have any cosplay contests, anything like that attached to the convention at all?
Yeah. So I didn't consider doing any kind of cosplay and stuff. It's kind of I'm really not pushing that sort of thing. I mean, I don't mind it if people want to come dressed up or anything like that, but I don't know if there'll be enough of it to warrant having like a contest or anything like that. We are going to do a trivia contest. I just remember that I got a buddy of mine that runs he runs trivia every week at a bar. So he's gonna do a trivia contest for, I don't know what the prize is gonna be yet for that, but we're gonna figure
Anything for
something out
kids?
there. I think on Sunday we're gonna have some people running games for kids. But that's still in the works. But it'll be like some RPG stuff going
Mhm.
on.
Yeah. Eric, you're the big seasoned veteran here of conventions. Any suggestions or ideas to a couple of rookies here on how to make our conventions better?
I mean, how to make them better? Listen, first off, this is your first year, so I can't. And I'll be at both of these conventions, Cons, WizardCon. I'll be at Central New York Con. Special guest at both. Thank you, I appreciate it. But no, I mean, listen, Paige was in its second year this year. I missed it last year. Ron ran an amazing convention for year two.
Yeah.
Know that no matter what you do, there's going to be a hiccup. As long as you don't panic, you're going to get through it. I mean, North Texas, I still see with North Texas, there are hiccups. It happens. The only time I'm not going to say which convention it was, I've gone to a number, but the only time I've ever seen a problem with a hiccup is when somebody in a position of authority panicked. And then it becomes lack of clear thinking, just, reacting as opposed to taking 2 minutes to figure out how to do it. So, but you listen, we're all in our 50s. We're all used to this shit, right? We've all lived life. If you were 22 and running your first con, I'd be concerned. Okay, you get to this part of your life, what used to be considered old age, now it's what, middle, maybe. I think
I classify myself as more middle age now.
Yeah,
Without hair, though.
I think both cons are going to go really well. The numbers for our first year for both of you is spot on amazing. I think that's really awesome. So I'm expecting good times at both of them, and it's great because with the cons in April, then I got back-to-back cons in June, and then I get to sleep from mid-June through August.
ShireCon, right, is the next one after that?
September, yeah.
Yeah.
2-day con, but it's Friday, Saturday. And again, I'm retired. It doesn't make a difference to me. But if I was working and I had to adjust my schedule, every day I was working and we were doing Gary Con and we were doing Game Hall in North Texas and Shire. She'd have no vacation days by the end of the year or by the middle of the year. But
gotcha. Buddy in chat, while we're continuing to talk, what are your ideas on how these conventions can be made better? What is it? Anything you want to specifically see in them happening? Any special events? Anything like that? Base D&D means and shenanigans. Thanks for tuning in. Edward Kopp says, Roger, stay hydrated, fed, and get well rested before. Delegate, follow up.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, and the delegate part is huge. If you talk to Steve at TotalCon, he's been delegating. I've been going to TotalCon 2017, 2018, and every year he's delegated more and taken a few more steps back. And if everything's on your plate immediately, you're going to burn out.
Sure.
So make sure you have some competent people with you.
And that's another thing I learned from, because you notice like at TotalCon, Roger, everybody has a walkie-talkie. And you can go to like Sam's Club and buy like a 6-pack of walkie-talkies for $100. They're not anything you're going to talk to somebody in the next block, but they're great for just local hotel.
Sure.
And that's what we're going to do is, everybody's going to have a walkie-talkie because we were up in the hotel room and he was showing us tabletop events and his walkie-talkie was going off and he was able to communicate and take care of stuff. So yeah, delegate. And I believe, by the way, as a side note, this was his last year, Eric, as being the head honcho.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think he mentioned to me and my wife that he was going to hand over the golden walkie-talkie to someone else in this year. I believe. I think he said that.
Okay.
So
And
yeah,
I know his wife took a step back.
yeah.
So, I mean,
Angela, what's his name? Angela?
yeah, Angelia.
Angelia. Yep. So
So, yeah,
Yeah, that's my plan is to run this for about 20 years or so and then retire and pass it on to someone else so that I can enjoy it.
yeah.
well, there you go. Well, by the way, one thing that I noticed with TotalCon and with their walkie-talkie, with their communication on the walkie-talkie, just like police departments use 10 codes,
Oh yeah, I know what you're gonna get.
they
Yep.
use color codes. And the
Yep.
reason why you do that is so, if you have a situation,
Yep.
a disorderly, you don't want to necessarily say, disorderly
Right.
gamer at the restaurant. You go, yeah, it's a code, code yellow, whatever you get designated as. And that way,
Yeah.
the average mover standing nearby doesn't go, oh, get all excited. That's the reason why you talk in a code.
Yeah.
Keep it
Yeah.
simple.
And it stops the people from wanting to grab their cell phone and run to the event and start taking
Yeah,
it live
right.
on the
Yep.
social media too.
Yep.
Yeah, they
Just
do
keep
that
it
at
simple.
they do that at hospitals. I've worked at a lot of hospitals where they have the color codes on the back of your
Mhm.
badge and you hear it come over the walkie. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
So trying to think here. What else have we not covered here with this? I mean, we've pretty much hit the gambit here with this. I mean, is there anything else you want to talk about your convention, Roger? You think people want to know, should know about your convention? Anything like that?
I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Well,
Probably, but
well, yeah, you're gonna think about it 5 minutes after we get off
yeah,
here. That's the way
absolutely.
it always goes. Now,
Yep.
if there is a large gaming group that wants to come to your convention and they want to make special arrangements, are you willing to talk to them and set up special arrangements for them? Like if they need like a block of tables or something or whatnot?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, 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 definitely.
And
Just yeah, because it's a lot easier to deal with a group like that, you know. Yeah,
yeah. Now, Tabletop Tapper mentions at Scout Camp, we reference the presence of Blackbird with the code Fuzzy Volkswagen over the radio. It reminds me of something, and this sounds dumb, but like with us, someone tossed an idea. I mean, I don't know the viability is like get the Girl Scouts there with Girl Scout cookies because what happens when Girl Scouts are someplace? Families come and such, and while they're there, they want to get a ticket to the
Yeah.
convention and do a walk-in. So
yeah. It's funny you mention that because my Girl Scout cookies just got delivered a few hours ago, so
oh,
I've
nice.
already gorged myself on Adventurefuls.
the cookie karma,
Cookie crack.
you know. Let's see. Edward Kopp, he says that he was a missile system supervisor. The guy who taught me how to do my day job in school was the one who shot down the Iranian Airbus. Oh, nice. And then Edward Kopp says the rest has been strung by their cranes. Yeah. So, well, I mean, it's doing a first year convention is a daunting task. I mean, I know that Bad Mike is in here, and Bad Mike's a veteran at this now, but I imagine no matter how many years you do this, I mean, there's the stress level that is to building up to it and getting, things going and getting it all up. I'm just trying to think of anything else to ask you because, I'd like to see CNYK RPG Con do well. I'd like to see you have a second year. Same thing as us, we want to have a second year also. Mr. Gunn says, Girl Scouts have a restraining order. They won't give up my cookies. Oh, Mr. Gunn. Bad Mike says, walkie-talkies are a good idea. We use them in North Texas. Bad Mike, I think, would be a really good ear to bend to kind of get ideas or whatnot. And I don't think Bad Mike would have a problem doing it. I'm not trying to volunteer him. I just know enough of him. I think
Volunteer, Mike.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, Roger, like I said, I mean, I hope everything goes well. Everybody can go over to where can they find you on YouTube real quick?
Me on YouTube? I don't. I'm
or
not
not
on
YouTube. Excuse me. Facebook.
I'm
My
not-
apologies.
Facebook at the CNY RPG Con. If you just type in CNY RPG Con into Facebook, you'll find the group page there.
Gotcha.
And I try and share around the link every week and a half or so to a
Yeah.
bunch of groups and whatnot. So,
Yep.
so anywhere there, or cnyrpgcon.com goes to the tabletop events
Tabletop events.
page.
Now, Bad Mike says the main thing to remember is that most people are there to have to game, and the attendees will end up taking the reins and running the game themselves.
Yeah.
Yep. And he goes on and says, just stand back and let the fun happen. Yep. And then says, Rob can contact me anytime. So great.
Yay.
And then Tabletop Tap Room says, Mr. Gunn, you can get your Thin Mints. Yep. Well, I guess we're gonna break. We're gonna break it then. Thanks for coming on the show tonight, Roger.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I hope I was an okay guest.
Oh,
Yeah, no, you were fine. It's a unique thing. Not many people decide to wake up one day and just go, I'm gonna start a game convention.
Yeah. It takes something going on in here.
Yeah, it does. St. Cuthbert says, get rest, wash hands,
Yeah,
stay
rest,
hydrated, eat, take a break, pump your immune system starts. Vitamin C, D3, vitamin zinc, baby. Carry a bottle of bourbon. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm about a mile and a half from the venue, from the hotel, and I actually reserved a room for myself at
Yes.
the venue, and this way, not only I'll be there overnight in case anything can happen, but hopefully if I need to sneak away for a quick 5-minute nap or something, I can.
Yeah.
I can.
Well, good deal. Well, Roger, again, thank you for coming on the show tonight. It's much appreciated. I hope we helped a little bit, maybe get a couple more signups for you. Steve, Eric, thank you for coming on tonight again. Tom, your sound problems. Sorry to have that happen. All of our guests, thank you for tuning in tonight, and your comments and everything, much appreciated. You can head over to Facebook and check out Roger's Facebook page, or you can go to his website, which is located at, what is the web address?
It's cnyrpgcon.com.
cnyrpgcon.com, and that will take you directly to his tabletop events. Go there, buy tickets, sign up for events, have fun. And Roger, thank you again for coming on tonight. To all our guests, thank you very much, or all of our commenters, thank you very much. And this is the vlog of many things, and we will see you guys next week.